But the story keeps going, and we are talking about Naomi Osaka, one of the greatest female tennis players in the world. And she had said before the French Open that began last week that she put out on Instagram in a long statement that she was not going to meet with the media after matches. And then when she didn't meet with the media after her first match, she was fined by, the people at Roland Garros.
And they have that in the code of conduct, Chris.
Yeah, that wasn't something they made up. Exactly. $20,000 fine if you don't talk to the media and you're requested to. And she decided to withdraw from the tournament. Now, she has cited mental health issues. All right, she's talked about being depressed in the past and things like that, but she cited mental health issues for why she didn't want to be interviewed by the press after the events. And so it's become a big story. And her sister, is it Mary Osaka?
Mari, her to
Mari.
Me.
Well, we're going to hear it. Mari, M-A-R-I, who's 2 years older than Naomi, also a professional tennis player. She tried to, I guess, defend her sister, and tried to explain why she didn't want to talk to the media. And here's what she posted. Was it on Instagram, Rob G?
It was on Reddit. It was a lengthy post. I'm just going to give you guys the highlights so that you can react to it there.
What we used to call in the old days, Rob G, the Reader's Digest version, where they would shorten.
Or Cliff's Notes.
Yeah, shorten like really long things. But go ahead.
All right, here we go. He said, quote, "At every press conference, she's told she has a bad record on clay. When she lost in Rome round 1, she was not okay mentally. Her confidence was completely shattered. I think that everyone's remarks and opinions have gotten her head, and she herself believes she was bad on clay. That is not true, and she knows in order to do well, have a shot at winning at Roland Garros, she will have to believe that she can." Later on, she adds, "I fully support my sister's actions because she's trying to do what's best for her. Tennis players don't get paid to do press conferences. They only get paid for winning matches."
All right, Rob, you can have at it first.
I mean, how ridiculous is the statement? Chris, so that's the negativity, is that the writers are giving her the facts on when she plays on clay, right? Like they're telling you don't win. Like we could give you the record. Why is that? They're trying to figure out why you can't do what you've done.
Let me give you a quick example, Rob. If you or I are at that press conference, or any writer, you might ask this: Naomi, you're obviously one of the top players in the world. You've won 4 majors, but you struggle on clay. You're 1-6 or whatever it is on clay. And why is it that this surface gives you such a hard time?
That's the question.
Right? That's the question.
That would be the question. Not, Naomi, you suck on clay.
Right.
You're not. Why would you even waste your time coming to the French Open? You know you won't win. You never win on clay. That's totally different from asking something that is, Chris, fact, when they ask why you struggle on clay. So, and both of us, when we talked about it, Chris, we're if this is a health issue, mental health issue, all I said was she should step away from tennis and do whatever the doctor needs her to do or she needs to do to get well. That's all I'm saying. If you can't take part in what most people have to do, tennis players, as a part of the obligation for them, Chris. That's all. And it's not a grueling 4-hour press conference. It's 5 or 10 minutes, Chris. It's 3 or 4 or 5 questions and you move on. I mean, that's really what it is.
No, right, Rob. And look, we want to be sensitive to mental health.
Absolutely.
We said it, Rob, last week. What these leagues are going to have to do, because Naomi Osaka is not the first. Kyrie Irving has done it a few times this year. He stopped playing for 3 weeks. Twice he did it, but a total of 3 weeks for what he cited as just personal reasons. We most believe that has something to do with mental issues or whatever. He didn't want to talk to the media a few times for mental issues. Cam Newton walked out, Rob. We talked about that at the Super Bowl in 2015.
Yep.
He walked out of a press conference. So athletes, like Naomi Osaka is not the first one, but what Rob and I have said is that if more and more athletes are going to cite mental health for why I don't want to do this or do that, I don't want to practice today, I don't want to play for the next week, I don't want to talk to the media, then your teams need to, and you really should do it anyway to help your athletes, hire an independent,
not a team doctor,
mental health expert, right? Not a team doctor, not someone that's affiliated with the players or their agents or anything. Independent doctors to objectively, first of all, to help your players. So maybe they meet with, your players that want to at least can meet with the mental health expert and coach and throughout the season to help them in that regard. But beyond that, that mental health expert that works for each team can determine objectively whether or not someone is really suffering from a mental health issue. And I'm sorry, Rob, what Mari Osaka wrote on Reddit.
Yep.
I don't think that qualifies as a mental health issue. Now, I get it. It causes you anxiety.
Yep.
I don't like when they ask me about, my record on Clay. I get it. But, Rob, any public job, I don't like it when fans rip me for my opinions. Do you?
I don't. Nobody does, but...
Right. Do you think politicians like it when they get destroyed day in and day out on TV?
How about Trump the last 4 years? He was destroyed every day.
So my point, LeBron James, after he melted down against Dallas, he had to sit on that podium and answer questions about it. And he gave an answer that a lot of people didn't like, Rob, when he said, look, y'all can go back to your life. But he had to do it, and he did it. Rob, how many boxers, after they get their butt kicked in the ring,
they got a swollen eye, Chris,
down? Yes.
A busted lip, and they're answering questions. And it's because, and again, it's not about the media. I wish people would stop that. Y'all just want them to talk so y'all can make money off of them. They don't need to talk to the media. The fans don't want to hear from them after games. Stop it. It's not true.
Right.
Otherwise, fans wouldn't care, Chris. That they care. Rob, they want to hear from their favorite players.
We're all making money off one another. Look, sports has afforded you and I and many others a great lifestyle. We have wonderful jobs that we can sit here and talk about sports. We used to write about sports. You still do, and all that, and make a good living. That we get it. But don't be fooled, folks. Everybody's scratching each other's backs because if the media, and don't forget, ESPN is the media. TNT, where the Nets Celtics game is on right now, that's the media. If the media in mass did not publicize these games, if ESPN didn't put the game or TNT didn't put these games on television, if newspapers and media outlets did not write about them, they'd still be great, fantastic athletes.
Chris,
but
you know what?
Nobody would know about it. Nobody would care that much.
And
I can go to the Rucker and watch some dudes hoop, and they wouldn't get the money. It all plays together without the media promoting the game, showing the games, publicizing the games, making the players larger than life. The media makes them that. Then it's not saying they don't have great talent and they aren't, awesome in their own right. But if people don't know about it, what's the old saying, Rob? If a tree falls in the forest and nobody hears about it, did it really fall? Right. Does it make a sound? Yeah. So my point is the media publicizes these sports and enables the athletes to make the money they make. So it all works together.
And here's the other point. See, what it is, Chris, she's mentally taxed. And if, there's a health issue, mental health issue, but that didn't stop her from wanting to go play tennis and make money. Do you know what I mean? Like you would say to yourself, if you need help or you're not in the right frame of mind, wouldn't you just pull back from everything?
Well, there are some definitions of mental health. I read it last week where, you don't want to do the things you normally do.
Right. You would pull
depressed.
away from it.
And you suffer, your performance can suffer. in
I
various
remember the
things that
definition
you do.
you read, yeah.
Yeah. So, Rob, and we get it. I understand. Everybody's personality is different. Some people will love
and we're not trying
the
to
spotlight.
discount mental health. Please,
Right.
do not
at all.
connect
But we're
us to
saying
that.
it can't. All we're saying is if the definition is so loose and so vague, then everybody's going to use it. I mean, Stephen A., our good friend Rob, Stephen A. Smith, I thought he did a great job with this morning on First Take.
Right.
Today was the 4th anniversary of his mother's death. I hope I got the year right, but I believe it was the 4th anniversary of his mother's death. And he was, as you know, Rob, very close to his mother.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he said, I don't want to be here
I met
today.
a number of times.
Yep. I think I met her once or twice, but yes.
Yep.
Great family. And he said, I don't want to be here today. I don't want to be on this show today. And he was explained it's the 4th anniversary of my mother's death and so on. But he's like, I got a job to do. This is my job. And ESPN's counting on me. And I had to come up here and do it. Rob, my point is, it ain't even just jobs. Do you know how many days I didn't feel like going to school?
Right.
I mean, seriously, whether it was for something embarrassing or just you were tired or just you didn't want to deal with it, or maybe people got social anxiety, whatever it is, whether it's you don't want to go to school, you don't want to go to your job, you don't want to do this or do that, that's a part of life. And again, I'm making light, but we all have to do some things with our jobs that we don't like. And if it's a legitimate mental health issue, then the leagues can work something out. But
right.
if it's
and
just, I really don't feel like talking to them, I didn't play well today,
I don't have anything to say.
like that.
Right.
Right. I mean, then believe me, we know, Rob, we've been dealing with these athletes forever. They'll come up with all sorts of excuses and legitimate. I remember talking with an athlete when I was covering the Cleveland Cavaliers on the team. And I said, I said to him, man, I know y'all get sick of us. I said, we in your locker room every day, before the game, after the game, asking y'all the same old questions. Yep. And he was like, yep. And he was like, and I was like, well, and we get tired of y'all too sometimes. Like we seeing y'all every day. Rob, covering baseball. I cover baseball for stints at a time.
You're in the clubhouse 3 hours before the game,
yes. Chris. No. Well, is it 3? Because I remember, will you get there at 1 o'clock? 7 o'clock game?
No, you get there at 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock. Right. 3
So
hours before, yeah.
But you're there for what, 2.5 to 3 hours, and the media's just standing around.
Right. You're trying to get a story. Players don't want to talk, right?
Right. Or you're really playing defense because you don't want the New York Post to talk to somebody and you weren't there. Right. I know when I was there, a lot of times nobody's talking
the other writers. Right.
You're just making sure you don't miss something. And nobody really wants to do that, but it comes with the job. And so we get tired of sometimes the players and the coaches. They get tired of us, but it's part of the job. And Rob, I mean, you look at all these years and athletes have done it. I mean, you face the fire. Yep. You can't just talk to the media when it's great. When
you hit a home run or you win a grand slam, doesn't work like that.
Yeah, I think the thing I wanted to see in this whole thing, Rob, was I think Naomi Osaka probably should have went to them privately and said, look, this is how I'm feeling.
And then they probably could have said, hey, let's get you a doctor, and maybe you should sit out the French Open. We want you to be the best person you could be. You know what I mean?
And they may even try to be like, we'll try to work it out. I mean, you're gonna have to talk sometimes. We'll try to work it out. We'll be, cognizant of whatever. Or one thing I was missing in this whole thing, right? I wanted to hear from like some type of real diagnosis. I think that has to become a part of the equation. It's just like physical. We're talking about there's mental health, there's physical health. An athlete doesn't just say, I'm hurt, right?
Go to a doctor.
Right, and there's a diagnosis. You can't just say, I'm hurt. I don't feel like playing physically. Okay, we got to find out, are you really hurt? Because if you're not, you got to go out there and play. And I think if mental health is going to become a part of the equation, and that's good, but we have to have some type of objective standard by which we can determine if you're really suffering from mental illness or if you just are having a bad day or you don't like the media or you don't like, negative questions. That is not a reason. I'm sorry, but it's not a reason for not, doing what comes with your job, Rob. What do you think about this whole Naomi Osaka thing, mental health, talking to the media? Did her sister out her, as Rob mentioned earlier? Your thoughts?
All right, let's go to Jacob in Cincinnati. You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Jacob?
Hey, what's going on, fellas? Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Thank you.
Hey, I'm kind of surprised at you guys, man. I thought you guys would be on the other side of this one here, man. I'm thinking, I don't think her thing is that she doesn't want to deal with the media per se. I think her main thing is that, she's trying to trick herself mentally into believing that she can overcome something that she's struggling with. And I think with the questioning of, why she's not being able to do it, it kind of plays on her head in a negative way.
But that's part of the job.
Away from that.
I mean, honestly, that's part of the job. You hear athletes all the time, Rob. What do they say? They say sports is mental.
Right.
It's mental. I gotta be able to believe that I can do it. What if there was trash talk in tennis? What if I'm a wide receiver and the defensive back is all in my head? I killed you last game, boy.
That's all they do.
I owned
Chris.
you last game.
You gotta be able to.
You ain't got nothing for right. It's part of it. I mean, go ahead. I want to hear from the caller because I'm surprised you questioning us. Like, what?
Right.
Where'd you expect us to be on the side of?
Yeah. What side? I mean, I think Chris and I.
I've listened to you. I've listened to you guys so long. I mean, you guys kind of have a little more sensitivity towards certain issues and things like that. I just thought you guys would be a little more sensitive to her thoughts on that.
But you know what?
I'm looking at it
we
a different
are
way.
if it's real mental issues.
And Jacob,
but if it's just that the media remind me of my struggles, that's not it.
And Jacob, here's the other thing that was the way that she went about it. And she admitted, Chris, maybe she didn't go about it the right way. Her biggest message on social media was about the media, not about I'm not talking to them. I don't want to talk to them.
Right.
And I think that's why it came off as if,
You're right.
what is this
media.
about? It wasn't like I'm having an issue here. I might
not be able to play, or
right.
I'm really struggling to get out there, but I'm going to give it a try.
It was focused in on not talking about them to the media.
Right. And I'll say this to the caller, right? Because we're progressive, obviously, right?
Both
when it
of
comes to
us are.
social justice and things like that. Don't make this a left-wing, right-wing issue.
It ain't.
This has nothing to do with that. So I don't know if that's why, Rob, he assumed we would, be sensitive, as he said, to it. I mean, we're just calling it down the middle like we see it. And, I just, like I said,
also, you got to remember our backgrounds, Chris. We're journalists. We've been reporters. We went to J school.
Right.
Michelle in Oklahoma City, you're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio.
Hey,
how are you, Michelle?
Yes, how's it going?
Doing good,
Michelle.
We'd love to hear from you.
Hey, yeah.
Yes.
Good to hear from you guys. My husband and I listen to you guys all the time, and we love your show.
Thank you.
Good. I just wanted to call in and say, listen, you guys are giving a good perspective, but I just want to speak from a woman's perspective on the whole situation. Also, that I'm not sure if you got all your details. She wrote a letter to the Federation about her situation, that she did not want to speak to the media, but she would after the tournament.
Okay.
She talked about from the first time that she won her first championship, it was at the U.S. Open, when she started having all her anxiety talking to the media then because of her, I don't know, because of her age, of it being overwhelming to her, and that's why she always wears headphones when she comes out there, that she's nervous and how much it does her, because she said, I don't know if you guys recognize, when they were talking to me, she kind of like midstream through, she said, hey, can I leave now? In the middle of the conversation. I don't know if you guys ever pay attention to when she's talking to the media or anything, and how she's looking, how nervous she looks when she's speaking to people.
Okay.
I'm just saying,
she wrote him a letter, but so you think she shouldn't have to talk to the media?
No. No, I'm not saying that. She said she did, but she just was expressing to them that she was having some struggles. She didn't say that she did not want to talk to them in general. She just wanted to know if she could speak to them after the tournament.
So all the other players
Right.
have to talk to the media after.
No, I'm not. No, I understand where you're coming from, but I guess at the time, you know what I'm saying, maybe she was having some issues, like I said, she wrote a letter.
But Michelle,
and,
what about
we get you because we said she should have went to them privately, so you corrected us on that, and we get that.
Okay, so Michelle, what about her bowing out from tennis for a little bit until she can get righted or feel better about her situation?
But she is going to do that. She said she's going to do that.
Yeah, now she is, right. But she also, and you know what else she could have done? I'm not saying, I'm not criticizing her. I'm just saying, she could have just taken the fine. And every match, you take the fine.
Right.
$20,000 a pop, but you're going to continue playing, and you're going because there are some athletes that might do that. Kyrie took a few fines.
Right.
He said, all right, I'm good with it.
You know what?
Right.
That makes sense, but she said she did not want to be a distraction to the other players, and she apologized for taking away. She did not want to be a distraction to the other players because being the number 2 player right now in the world, that would have been a big media issue. That would have been a big thing every time a tournament would have came up.
No,
well, let me ask
she didn't want to be that.
Okay, that's a good call from Michelle.
No, Michelle, we appreciate your insight. Thank you.